Good day. Myself, Jonal Souza, faculty of Moti College of Hotel Management, Mangalore. Since we are working in hotel industry, the most and important thing what we should have or what we should inculcate by ourselves is personal hygiene. See, nowadays the hygiene is a very important aspect. Wherever you go, if you're not hygienic, either you'll be having the problem by yourself, that is illness, or you'll be spreading the illness to others. When we talk about personal hygiene, it is just the external hygiene or external cleanliness of our body. It includes from your hair till the feet. If we keep ourselves clean, we will benefit the society. If you are not clean or if you are not hygienic, when you go social, when you go out, when you meet someone, maybe the person to whom you are interacting or to whom you are going to meet may not like it, because can be your hair looks shabby, or you may not have shaved, or maybe your hygiene, that is the odor from your body itself, is not pleasant, etc. etc. These are the different causes for your personal hygiene. Talking about your hair or your body, it is better to have a bath twice a day, if not at least once before joining the duty, that is the time when you leave from your house or from the place of living. If you keep your hair clean, if you keep your body clean, everything, the soul, the whole body will be clean and will be active at the workplace. If you simply just wake up from the bed and you just walk towards the workplace, you will be still in a sleeping mood or you will be in a sober mood. Next is your trimming, that is shaving, keeping your face clean. For gentlemen, shaving on daily basis is recommended, or it is actually mandatory if you are working in hotel industry. If you do not shave, there is a tendency that sometimes the beard or your moustache, if it is the moustache is long, there is a tendency that it will, when you are working in a food industry especially, it might fall on the food or whatever things you are going to do for the day, and sometimes it will start itching. Next is your dental, that is brushing the teeth and using of the tongue finger or even the floss. See, some people have the habit of not brushing the teeth. They will just walk from the, they will just gargle their mouth and just walk towards the or to the duty. Or some people have the habit or the tendency of using some of the other that is your mouthwash kits other than the toothpaste. Okay, it can be some of the stems, etc. etc. Next is the dental. That is nothing but your mouth. So when we talk about dental, there are people who just wake up from the bed, gargle and rush to duty. No, it is not at all accepted. You should brush your teeth at least 2 times a day, that is in the morning and before the bed, because that will safeguard your mouth or the etc. And also, it is better to use the tongue cleaner and the floss, so that, see, we are in the hotel industry, you need thousands or hundred of guests per day. So we talk to them, we have interaction with the guest who's coming, whether it is in front office, whether it is in restaurant, whether it is in housekeeping, that is while cleaning the room, etc. etc. So if the mouth odor is not good, or if it is not fresh enough, even the guest will complain, or maybe there is a chance that guests will not complain, but nowadays has the trend is like they will be posting all the negativities or positivities online, right? So when this negativity comes on online, it is me as well as the industry where I am working will be losing the points or will be losing the grades. So since we are working in a hotel industry, it is better that we keep ourselves hygiene, clean and tidy. Next is the makeup and the jewelries, what you should wear and what you should not wear when you are on duty. Especially for ladies, when you wear the makeup, it should not be like very hi-fi or very like hitting the eyes or something like that, etc. You can use a very small amount, that is very mild makeup, and even the lipstick what you are wearing should be very light. Should not be like very dark color. If you're using a red lipstick, it should not be like very dark or something like that. No, it is not at all accepted in hotel industries. And again, when it comes to your jewelry part, it is only the stud which is accepted in the hotel industry. And even if you are married, the wedding bands, that is the wedding ring, is accepted, but only if you are working in the front office department. But when you work in other departments, it is recommended not to wear these kind of jewelries. Why? There are two chances. One, the jewelry what you are wearing, it might get lost. Second, it might be a foreign contamination to the food what you are preparing or the food what you are serving, or etc. For that reason, the minimal jewelry is accepted, or it is better to wear when you are on duty. Off duty, it is up to you. Next is your hand wash. Hand is a core object or part of our body when it comes to point of hygiene, because hand is the part which is used very frequently. We touch some of the things, we handshake with a guest or maybe with a colleague, etc. etc. We use our hand, we write down something. These are the critical points nowadays when we are using the hands. So when you are joining the duty, when you are going for the duty, it is recommended, or it is as per the SOPs, you should wash your hand before joining the job or duty. And especially when you are working in kitchen and service department, every now and then you should wash your hands. If you are working in front office housekeeping, it is fine. But whereas when you are working in kitchen department and in service department, every now and then you are supposed to wash your hands, because we care not only about us, we care for the guest also. The common contamination or common disease which we see in the people or around ourselves is food poisoning. There are many different causes for food poisoning, but again, the hands what we are using is also a cause for the food poisoning. If our hands are not clean and we are using, or maybe we are cooking with the same hands without washing them, there is a tendency there will be a food poisoning. And when it comes to the service department, we have touched something and we have served the food by the same hand. It is serve the food in the sense it is not mandatory that you have to touch the food. Maybe the cutlery is what you are holding, maybe the crockeries or whatever you are holding. There is a chance that the germs will get transferred to those cutleries and crockeries which you are serving or which you are placing on the table for the guest. The food poisoning is such a critical disease that there is a chance that the person who is suffering from food poisoning might lose his life, because the immune system with the babies or the small generation and the older generation is very less. The medium generation is fine, at least we have some of the immunity power, but whereas when it comes to the small generation and the older generation, older age people, the immune system is very low. So for that reason we have to take care of themselves so that they are not falling ill or sick. So for that reason, the person working in kitchen department and in service department has to wash his hand now and then. For example, in the kitchen, before joining the shift or before taking the duty or before taking the handover, okay, you have seen your workplace or work table is fine. After doing that, everything set, and after setting the table, wash your hands, then start with the task. Maybe you're cutting the wrong material, or maybe cutting the, or whatever, etc. So there are so many tasks to be taken. Okay. After that, in case if you are shifting your table, it is better to wash the hands. Wash, sanitize, and dry. Next is after using the washrooms. This is common for all the departments. After using the washroom, it is mandatory to wash the hands with soap, that is antiseptic soap, and sanitizer, and dry. Maybe after the break, okay, you go on break for maybe snack, or maybe for a cup of tea or coffee, or maybe for a meal. Once you rejoin the duty, wash your hands. Then maybe you have washed your hands, fine. But you are walking from your cafeteria or from the common room to the department. You will be touching the rails, or maybe on the way you will be shaking the hands, etc. etc. Okay, or maybe you will be just touching yourself, maybe itching, or maybe scratching your hair, etc. etc. These are the key, or these are the points, or these are the key places where there is a chance that your hands will get contaminated. So just before walking inside your department, there are hand wash areas. In kitchen, it is mandatory. Everywhere every department there is hand wash area. Whereas even in the service department, there is a small area for your hand wash. So hand wash, then start your job, so that you are 100% sure that there is no contamination. You are not carrying any of the contamination along with you. This is your hand wash. Next is your nails. Hotel industry, it is mandatory that you have to keep your nails small and trim every now and then, because nails, again, when it comes to the nails, it is again the critical area where if the nails are long, what happens is like you will be touching something, or you will be scratching yourself, I mean itching yourself, there is a chance that the residue will get stored under the nails. So when you touch the foot or when you touch anything, there is a chance that you will transfer the contaminants to that particular food or whatever what you are going to serve to the guest. So keep your nails short and trimmed nicely. Next, coming to your footwears. See, hotel industry is a place where you will be working for 8 hours, 8 to 9 hours, and most of the time you will be standing and walking. Right. So for that reason, if you do not take care of your footwears, what you are wearing, it might have some problems in the older age. So the footwears what you are wearing should be very soft and should be flexible, so that whichever department you are working for, which suits the shoes which suits good should be worn by that. For instance, if you are working for a front office, it is better to wear a normal Oxford or normal leather shoes, which is where the sole is not that hard. And in case if you are working in kitchen department, it is better to wear the safety shoes, because in kitchen you will be handling the knife or the heavy utensils. So that in case if there is a small accident happens, your foot or your legs will not get harmed. Next is the clothing what you are going to wear in the department. Since it is going to be a 9-hour shift, and the clothing what we wear should be very comfortable, so different departments are having different material clothings or uniforms, for example. In kitchen department, we are wearing a thick cotton uniform, that is the chef coat and the trouser and the apron. Why we are wearing the thick material clothing is because we are dealing with fire and oil. So for that reason, if there is any spillage, that is nothing but your accidents, if it spills on us, the clothing will protect our body. For that reason, we are wearing the thick cotton material clothing, and that is uniform in the kitchen department. Whereas when it goes to the service, front office, housekeeping, there are different materials what we are using. So that can be thin, that is fine. And one thing, whatever uniform what we are wearing should not be tight or something like that, like the modern style. It should be just a uniform, because it should be so comfortable that we are able to do any kind of task. So these are few things which we have to keep in our mind, or this is nothing but our personal hygiene. So when we go to when we deal or when we are on duty, these are a few things or few points to be kept in mind. Thank you.